Everyone in meeting, right? Okay. Now see whether you got it. Okay.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Earlier because Yoga sent me a message, so I replied to that. Right. Just see whether you can download them. I will let you know when to download. In the meantime, we'll proceed with our uh, work. So $C3, you know what, how it works. When you compare these two, you can see that. And also $3, you can see, if you compare all three, you will see the difference, right? This is what we did now. Because it's very important, that's why I'm just doing it. Right. $C, $3 means absolute cell addressing. It won't change whichever way you drag it. Simple as that. Working with formulas and functions. Okay, these are basic functions. I will just run through that. We won't be doing all that. This has a lot of things. You know how to put a comment? Right click on a cell and put a comment. Yes. I don't know whether you know how to print it, comments. If you want to print it.
That I don't know.
You know, right? Okay. So it's not very essential.
Sorry, I don't know that. How to print?
Yeah, a lot of people know how to enter the comments. Even I learned it maybe some time later. Okay, it's like this. You right click and you can put a comment. Right now in 365, the comment is called a note. Right, but in your case it's a comment if it's old version. So I'll say test comment, test. These people keep on changing all these things, right? Now there's another chat. I'll hide this other, mute, hide, right? So if you go to preview, there is a place called show comments, right? Otherwise it will be just a, I'll just put a value here, just a small tick here. When you go there only you can see it. Yeah, when you go there you can see it. So if you want to see it all the time, then you have to go to review and say, I can't remember what exactly it says. Let me see it another version because this new version is different. Show all comments or something under review. You see that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
But still it won't print. So when you say show all notes in this one, you can see it. To print it, you have to go to page layout. Remember, go to page layout. Right? Go to page layout and then go to print titles. There's a thing called print titles under the page setup box. In that, there are two ways you can show your notes. Comments and notes. By default, it says none. Okay. So either you can say at the end of the sheet. Then all the comments will come in a new sheet giving the cell address and the comment, cell address and the comment. Or if you want to show it as it is, then you say as displayed on sheet. But for this one, you have to first display it on the sheet and then come here. You know what I mean? So there are two steps if you want to show it like this. But for this one, it doesn't matter. If I say as displayed on sheet, and if I say print preview, when you print it, there you can see the note like this. Only it covers the other things. So it's not advisable to print like this. Unless the things which are getting covered are not important, it's okay. Other option is you say print titles at the end of the sheet. For that, you don't have to even display it. When you go to print preview, you can see there will be a separate sheet. That's the first sheet. Sheet number 2 will give you the something like that. Cell B2, note Asoka test comment. All the notes will come one under the other, right? Clear?
Thanks.
Okay. So now that we are on this one, there's another important thing in printing. Excel is something that you have to learn a lot, but anyway, may be important in your day-to-day life. I'll just open sample file, something. 10e, I just open 10e and just show you. Just watch it, right? Now, if this is printed, before printing anything, what you should do is go to view and say page break preview. Then you can see how your pages will be divided. You can see the first page comes only up to there. So it goes into a hell of a lot of pages. After page number 15, let me see, yeah. After page number 15, the balance part of all the pages, the balance part, this part will come as page 16. So what we can do is we can delete this and see whether it loves you now. No, still it's not jumping. So we can, do these things. Maybe we can remove there are so many things we can do. Remove the filters and select the whole thing and double click on edge of this. There you are. Now only this part is jumping out. So what you can do is move this dotted line onto this. Already it will become a bit smaller. Now it fits into just 15 pages, right? Move the dotted line onto the other edge. This is the page breakage. Only thing, now if you print, the percentage would have automatically changed. So if you go to file and say print, custom scaling, there you are. It's into custom scaling now. Anyway, it comes in 1 of 12, like that it goes, right? The problem is from the second page, the heading is not there. There you are. Third page, headings are not there. So what people do is they copy and paste the heading in the middle. Don't do it. What you can do is at the time of before printing, click on page layout and say print titles, right? And here it asks you for the rows to repeat at top. This is applicable only for printing. So what are the rows you want to, if you want all these things to be printed in each page, you can select from here to here. Or from the second page onwards, if you want only this one, the subheading, then you select only that row. Better have only this one. First page you will have the main heading. Second page onwards, you will have the subheading. If you want everything, you select from here to here. You can't select from the middle, from top to whatever. You can select from here and here, right? Now if you go to print preview, you can see in all your pages, at the time of printing, it will give you the heading. There you are. There you are. So these are very simple things, basic things, but sometimes we know a lot of advanced things, but not the basics. That's the problem with Excel, right? There you are. So you can repeat whatever you want to be printed, right? Okay, so we'll stop with that and go back to our presentation, right? So freezing and unfreezing, I think you all know. We are not going to, that's about the printing. Custom list and fill handle options. I'll come to these things later because this has, I told you this is an 8-day session. What I have given you the link is a 12-day session. I think the recordings are also there, so you can go through them, which I did for the public. The if function. Okay. I was told that you had done it. How sure are you of the if function? Tell me. Do you want me to do it or are you 100% sure of this? Yeah, I need your feedback. Now we have to concentrate on the exam, no? So for the exam, definitely the if function will come, VLOOKUP will come. So let's look at the if function. You need to be 100% on if function. You want me
I think better do it now also.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yes, better to do it. Yeah.
Can you open module 3B? So we'll start practicals now. 3B, if exam results. If exam results.
What is the password, sir?
Just click on read only, right? Just click on read only, it will open up a read only copy. Now, yeah, good that you asked it. Now, when you are protecting a workbook or worksheet, there are 3 types of protections. I don't think we have time to do all that, but I'll just brief you. Workbook protection, you can put a protection to open, password to open. Then without the password, you can't open. There's another one called password to modify. Now that is what I have put here. So when you put the password to modify, it comes and asks you for the password or read only mode. So if you don't know the password, you can put read only. Now what's the advantage in putting password to modify is you can open it. Can you modify? Yes, you can modify also. Then you will ask, what the hell is? Why do you want a password then? Why are they asking for password to modify? You can modify, but you can't save under the same name. Remember that. If you modify it, you have to save under some other name. So the original document, nothing happens to the original document. That's the idea. Then the other one is, in the worksheet, you can protect some of the cells and allow only some of the cells to work. That's the second type of protection. First one is for the workbook. Second one is for the worksheet. The third one is the advanced one, where to the same worksheet, you can give different areas to be handled by different people. You can give 3 or 4 or 5 passwords in the same worksheet, so that when the worksheet flows from one company to the other, okay, when it, let's say it comes to the finance, when you open it, it comes for a password. When you enter the password, only that particular finance portion is unlocked. Others he can see, but you can't do. Then you email it to the other department. For that department, only that part is unlocked. Like that also you can do. So it's advanced, right? Anyway, so now this is password to modify. You can click on it, read only mode, but you can save it under some other name, right?
Ashoka, okay, now we can see. Thank you. Okay.
Right, okay. File, open, what did I say? So there is exercise on that. Exam results. Number 3B. Is it, sorry, 3B function exam results. 3B function exam results. Click on the read only button. So here I have, you know, the average function. If you say equal average and select these 3, you get the average here. That I have done. The question is, fill the result column with pass for students whose average is greater than or equal to 50 and fail for the others. Now, okay, let me put my camera. It's like this. I can't see me. Anyway, right, okay. Now, that why we need the function is, remember, to change a cell value depending on a condition. To change a value of a cell depending on a condition. For example, in this case, we have to say the result pass or fail depending on the average marks he has scored. If you take another example, if your salary is, let's say, more than 200,000, you want to put a 10% tax. So then you have to use the function, right? Then we check whether, what is the condition, whether the salary is more than 200,000. If that condition is true, what do you want to do? Add the tax. Otherwise, what do you want to do? No tax. So this has 3 paths. This function has 3 paths. So if you want to change a cell value depending on a condition, you use a function, right? Then there's another one called conditional formatting. If you want to change the format of a cell, not the value. Format of a cell, depending on a condition, you can use conditional formatting. That is, if for the past people, you can say it's green color, fail people, red color, the result. That is also possible. That's a different one. So either changing the value of a cell, use the function. To change the format of the cell, you use the conditional format, right? Now, how many outputs are there for pass and fail? Why can't I see myself? I just want to meeting info. Stop breakout. Hide video panel. Okay. If there are only two outputs, you need only one if function. Remember that. Always the number of outputs minus 1. Let's say if you have 3 outputs, then you need 2 if functions. We call it nested if. Within the if, you can put another if. We'll do that also. Let's say now you want to give the grade formats, whether it's a distinction, credit, pass, or fail. You have 4 options, 4 outputs. Then you need 3, 4 minus 1 ifs. So here we have only 2. What are the 2? Either pass or fail. You need only one if function. Now, the easiest way to handle this problem is you write down what you have to do. I'll increase some of the rows here. Do you know that to insert a row, how to insert? If you want to insert a lot of rows, if you want to insert 5 rows, you select 5 rows and then say insert. You get 5 rows, right? Okay. You write down what you have to do in simple English using these 3 words. If, then, else. Write down what you have to do in simple English. Don't worry about Excel. Say you don't know anything about the function. Write down what you have to do in simple English using these 3 words. If, then, else. Take the first guy. What is the question? Put the question to somebody. Let's say you want to do it manually. You are going to tell somebody who doesn't know Excel, but you are going to give the question to him by using these 3 words. How will you write it? If, what? Average. Yeah, try to develop it. Average is, let's say, greater than or equal 50. Then show pass. Isn't it? Very easy. Otherwise, show fail. Anybody can write it. Forget Excel. Use these 3 words, if, then, else, and write down the question in simple English. If average is greater than or equal 50, then show pass, otherwise show fail. The syntax of the if function is, the syntax means the format, if open bracket, logical test, comma, value if true, comma, value if false. Always these 2 depends on what we are checking. The first comes a value if true, then comes a value if false. And do you know in a syntax, do you know why if something is within square brackets, what does it mean? Oh my god, I have deleted that. Equal if open bracket, logical test, comma, value if true has to be within square bracket. Yeah. So this is the syntax of the this bracket is the other bracket, square bracket. Yeah, do you know why we put the square bracket in a format? Now, how do you find these things? You go to formulas, right? When you go to formula, When you go to formula, you can see all the functions of the formulas are categorized here. So this comes under logical. So this is logical. You get the if function. If you want to learn any formula or any function on your own, this is the best way. Go to if and then click on help on this function. It will give you a very detailed explanation of how the if function works. Right? So sometimes it goes into the now there. What does it do? See, what is the syntax? Right? Simple if examples. Right? All these things are there. You can study on your own these things. Common problems. There you are. Name in cell means formula is misspelled. So everything is there. Right? Now, in the syntax, what you have to understand is if some part of the syntax is in square bracket, that means it's optional. It's optional. That is what it means. Right? If some part of the syntax is in square brackets, that is optional. Syntax එක කියන්නේ අපි කරනකොට පල්ලෙහාන් ඉන්න එක තමයි syntax එක. හරි. hide this. So, the logical test is actually this part. The value if true is actually this part. And the value if false is actually this part. Now it's a matter of putting it here. Start with if open bracket. Right? Open bracket. Logical test. What is the logical test? Average is greater than or equal to 50. What is the average for this row? This is the average for this row. Greater than or equal 50. After that, what do you get? This is called the syntax. At the bottom, what you get? Here. Comma. The moment you put the comma, you can see this one gets highlighted. Always look at the syntax and work, then you won't go wrong. Can you see value if true? Pass. But this is a label. So in Excel, when it's a label, you put within double quotes. Not two single quotes, within double quotes. Comma again. Value if false. You want to say fail. Close the bracket. Press enter. Pass. Copy it down. Fail, pass, fail, all that. Right? So let me show it here. That's a syntax. The syntax has three parts. Separated by commas. And these two are optional. That means you can do this function without even these two. These are the two outputs. For the two outputs, you can have a label like what we did, pass or fail, or distinction, credit, whatever you want to show. Within budget, over budget, all those things has to be within double quotes if it's a label. You can put a value. For example, we can say we want to calculate a commission for the people who have done more than 1 million sales. So we can say if the sales value is more than 1 million, then 2% of sales value. Straight away you are putting a, sorry, you can say we are giving a fixed amount. You can say 5,000. Otherwise 0. That's a fixed amount value. Formula also you can give. What do you do? If the sales are more than 1 million, then 1% into sales. So it's a formula. Otherwise 0. Comma 0. Otherwise no. You can give a function. If the sales is more than whatever, 1 million, you get the max of sales, maximum of the sales, and then add something onto it. So you're putting a function. Otherwise, you get the minimum of sales, something like that, or average of sales, and then divide it. Or you can say, if the sales is more than this, A1, otherwise B1. In A1 and B1, you can put two values, good or bad or whatever. Then those will be displayed. So if you are using a cell address, remember, value in that cell address will be displayed as usual. Right? So here we are. Kamal's average is greater than or equal 50, then show pass, otherwise show fail. Talking about Kamal's average. Here it should be greater than or equal, right? Anyway, that's okay. So this is your logical test. This is the show pass, this is the show fail. So in other words, when you convert it, H10 is his average, greater than or equal 50, then pass, otherwise fail. Let me correct it here. I have forgotten to put that. These are the three paths, right? So should be greater than or equal. That's all. Now, මෙතරම් දාන්න ඕනේ. H10 greater than or equal, right? Pass or fail. If I change it the other way, if I say less than 50, then the fail should come here, pass should go here. Because value if true comes first. Value if true is the first one. Right? So remember that. Okay. Those are three paths. The second one, the second question here is, give the names of the people who have passed by checking the result. That's the question number 2. Fill the past names column by checking the result, not average. So then how do you write this? If result is pass, result equal pass or is pass, then show his name. Show his name. Else, otherwise, show blank. Right? So how do you check the result is pass? I'll say equal if, open bracket. Where do you get the result? This cell. Equal pass. You have to make sure you put within double quotes in capital. Why capital? Because I have put the result in capital. So it will check for exact thing. If it is pass, what do you want to do? Show his name. Where do you get the name? Here. Cell address. Otherwise, nothing. If you just stop there, it'll put a false. Right? If you just don't do anything, it'll put a false. So remember, in Excel, if you want to display a blank, you put within double quotes nothing. Some people put a space like that. Don't do it. Put 2 double quotes, again 2 double quotes, and that's it. Because a space is considered a character in Excel. When you try to check for a space, for a blank, the space will not get, identified. So therefore, if there's another formula checking this column for blanks, then if you put a space, it won't get identified. Remember that. So therefore, put 2 double quotes. Copy it down. Merge cells needs bits. I have merged it down. That's right. Okay. Only the people who have passed, the names are there. Other names are not there. Right. Up to there, is it okay? Shall I proceed?
Yes.
Now the next question is, hide from F to J. Hide these columns. F, G, H, hide. Right. Select from the column, right click and say hide. I need to put a grade for these people. Now the grades we are calculating like this. Less than 40 fail. 40 to 59 pass. 60 to 79 credit. More than 80 distinction. Now this is called nested if. Right? How many outputs are there? 4 outputs. 4 outputs means 4 minus 1 if functions. Nested. Nested together. 4 minus 1. That is 3. First, make sure that you know how many ifs you have to put. Right. This is how we do it. Start again. Equal if, open bracket. Eliminate the highest one first. This marks is greater than or equal 80, right? Greater than or equal 80. What do you want to show? Distinction. So within double quotes, you put distinction. Can I put credit now for the other one? No, we don't know what it is. So for sure we know if it is more than or equal 80, it's distinction. That part is done. Otherwise, we have to check again. Because there may be 50s, 60s, 30s, 20s, fail or credit or simple passes. But distinctions are taken into account. Put another if. Now, observe the second bracket opens in red color. Again, you select only this one. If E10, right? We are checking that greater than or equal 60. Then you know it's a credit. So you put credit. Close the double quotes. I have put only two ifs. So you know that you have to put another one. Why? There are two more conditions, pass or fail. Comma. Again, you put another if. Remember, when you put the if inside one, you don't put the equal. Huh? You don't put this equal which is here. Only the if. Open bracket. Maths, this marks is greater than or equal 40. Then you know for it's pass. So you put pass there. Otherwise, you don't have to check again. We have taken off the 80s, 60s and 40s. What is remaining is fail. So value if false is fail. Now when you close, you saw the brackets, black, red, purple. If you open another bracket, it will be green. So now it's a matter of closing the brackets. Close the purple, close the red, close the black. Make sure outermost bracket is always black. You have to close up to there. Press enter. So this guy is fail. Copy it down. Merge cells here on very. There are merge cells here, no? So that's why you can't copy it. Drag it. Okay. 33 is fail. 56 is pass. 78 is credit. 87 is distinction. If you want to see the formula, what do you do? Go to formula and say show formula. You can see the formula inside the cell. Okay, shall we proceed? You have to think logically, step by step, slowly. That's all. Okay. Need more time? Please let me know when you're okay. The mistakes you all do is you don't put the commas in the proper place or put two single quotes instead of the double quote. I'm waiting for you all. Let me know. You have to put in the correct order. First eliminate the other ones. If you put in the wrong order, this is what happens. I'll do that also and show you. If you put in the wrong order, let's say equal if, right? This is, let's say, greater than or equal 40, then pass. Otherwise, again you check if this is greater than or equal 60, then credit. The wrong, huh? See the difference what happens. I'll explain why it happens. If open bracket, this is greater than or equal 80, then distinction. Otherwise, fail. So how do you work? How will it work? If it is more than 40, it says pass. So the moment it gets 33, it's not more than 40, it checks for the other one. More than 60, no. More than 60, no. So fail will be fail. Now 56, what happens? It is more than 40, pass. Yes, it will put pass. 78, what happens? If it is more than 40, yes, pass. So it will put pass again. It won't check for the others. Right? Fails will come properly. All the others will have only passes. It doesn't say whether it's credit or distinction. Why? We are checking whether it's more than 40. More than 40, the 70 තිබුණොත් 80 තිබුණොත් more than 40 pass කියලා දාලා එතනින් නවතිනවා. The moment it gets a result, the moment it becomes true, it will put the result and stop checking further. So that is why you have to be careful of the order. But when you check the other way, more than 80, if it is not there only, it will check for the others. Clear? See the difference between the answers you got? Fail will work properly. So be careful. Done? Shall I proceed? Hello? You are there or what?
Okay.
Right?
Asoka, if I may add,
Yeah, tell me.
no, from a practical point of view, when you do nested ifs like this, especially with threshold, multiple thresholds, in reality, it's always good to put numbers where the threshold changes, one number less and one number more, and check whether it works. That way you can really see whether you have got your logic right.
Very true. But now the if function, when there are so many things, we don't use if function, we use the VLOOKUP.
Okay.
The same thing I will be doing with VLOOKUP. You'll see how easy that is, right?
Okay.
What you're saying is correct. When there, always check. I always check, my God, because after all, this is also human build, no? I know Excel, so far it's perfect. We haven't found any errors on Excel. But as you spotted now in the earlier one, the date problem. So there are certain things. I showed you the date formatting. When you take the months are different. It gives 12 months for my birthday and today's date. But when you put the date diff, it gives 11 months, a correct answer. So there are bugs everywhere.
Yeah, there are many instances where there are bugs like that. So you just learn to overcome that.
Exactly. Very good. Very true what he says. Yeah. So that's why they are giving different versions. They give fixes and all that. Right? Okay. So we can proceed with it. Now to replace this if function, there's a function called if s. Right? But it might not be there, so no point in doing it. But if you find a new version, this is how if s work. If s open bracket, what is the logical test? Whether this is greater than or equal 80. What do you do? Value if true 1. You say, I'll put D for distinction to make it faster. Then comma here, logical test 1, value if true 1. Then logical test 2. That's faster. You don't have to put another if. E10 greater than or equal 60. Then I'll put C. Then again E10 greater than or equal 40. Always look at the bottom here. Value if true. Value if true 3. This is the third one. S, simple pass. But you can't say value is false here. එහෙම එකක් නැහැ. ආයි check කරන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් එක තමයි you have to say E10 greater than or equal to 0. Right? You have to say fail. One bracket, one. There you get fail. එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ මේක. You get the same thing. Simple pass, credit, S for simple pass, credit, S distinction, fail. The last one also you have to write here. Okay, value is false. There's a thing called value is false. No, there's nothing like that. Check if that is true. What do you want to give? If that is true, what do you want to give? If that is true, it goes on. That is a new function called if else, right? Just for knowledge. There you go. If logical functions, okay, basic salary, all right. Can you open 3B if salary? That's also a useful one. Let's do that also. If salary. There's another function called if salary. This is a bit of a practical one. If function salary. No, actually this is something which happened about, I think maybe when was it? I can't remember. There was a government rule saying the minimum salary of all the employees should be 10,000. That time I was at Brandix and I got this about 17,000 employees named machine operators. Yeah, there were trainees who were getting 9,500 plus the allowances, all that, but they were given the basic salary. So the HR department asked me whether I could do it. I said, yes, let's give a try. Then when it came, I was thinking for about half an hour how to do this. But then suddenly it came to my mind, my God, the if function can do it, yes. Within a minute you could do it. All 17,000 people's salaries were changed to 10,000 minimum. Now here I have taken 50,000 minimum salary. Make the minimum salary of all employees to 50,000 on new salary column. So this is my basic salary, this is the new salary. Let's see it, very easy. Equal if open bracket. What is the logical test? If this is, you can check for either way. Let's say less than 50,000, then only you have to change. So less than 50,000. Now instead of 50,000, I can put this cell address. We'll make it more complicated, more advanced, not complicated, say advanced. But then when I copy it down, what happens? D2 becomes D3. No? So it will check for this one, then this one, then this one. It will come with error. So then I have to fix it. If you want, you can put the $ for both, but even this is enough. Then if it is less than 50,000, what do you want to make it? 50,000. Again, this. That again, you have to put the $. Why? When you copy down, the D2 becomes E2. D3. Sorry, D4, D5. So these are having names. Otherwise, what do you want to do? If it is less than 50,000, then we have made it 50,000. If you want, you can type the number here 50,000, but I put the cell address. Otherwise, do you make it 0? No. You have to give them the salary that they are having. So that is this salary. Do I put a $ for that? No. Then everyone will get 35,000. That should change next on salary. That's all. So this guy's salary changed. All these changed. These three changed. This was 50. It didn't change. May it change now. The others, they remain the same. See how easy you can do it? That is why I said the function is something that you have to know 100%. Now, next year the company decides the basic salary should be, minimum salary should be 60,000 or let's say whatever, 65,000, whatever. Make it 65, everything will change. These things change. Up to here it changed. Okay, so that is if function. And using the $ signs, both together. So the total of salaries, I'm not going to do it. I'll just show it. You know these things. Sum from here to here. If you select, that's a total of the basic salary. Right. Highest salary. What's the function? Equal max. The first three letters of maximum. What is the highest salary of these people? Okay, 80,000. Lowest salary, you say min. First three letters of the minimum. Average salary, you say equal average. And select the range from here to here. That's all. Done. Now remember, the count has two issues. There is a function called count and count A, right? I write it down. Count counts only numbers, right? Count A counts numbers and text both. Remember that. So if look at this, I have second count C5 to C14. C5 to C14 is this. So it has taken 10. Right? Here I have taken count D5 to D14. D5 is a name. But here I put count A. If I put count here, it will come with a 0. Can you see? It's come with a 0. Because there are no numbers. I'm counting this. Then if I make it count A, whether there's a number, let me make this a number, what happens? Still it will count. Number or text, it will count. Right? Count and count A. We use only the count.
It's a blank.
Huh?
If it is a blank, then it's still it counts. So
It's something I haven't tried. No, I don't think it should. Let's see. So it should come with 4. Yeah, 4. Blank doesn't count. But if I type something, it will count as 5. If I delete this, it will become 4, right? Yeah, blanks doesn't count. That's something I checked today. These are things. That's why I said, I mean, Excel is, you learn every day something. Thanks. You have to see it yourself, no? Then you won't forget. Okay, so that's a function. We'll conclude the function with that, and let's move on. Date formatting. It's very, very nice. The way you can format the dates. I'll go to new sheet. If I put a date here, let's say 1st January 21, and with the fill and if you drag, what happens? The date will automatically change, that you know. Have you ever gone through these options, what you have here? Anybody?
No.
Right.
Sometimes, not in this particular example, in different other places I have checked, but not this one, new to me.
For the dates, there are so many options. See how it works. At the moment, it's selected to fill series. If I say copy cells, that same date is copied, repeated. Right? You can go back and say fill days. Again, the date will change 1, 2, 3, 4. The important thing is this one. Do you know there was a company when I went sometime back? They said, sir, we have an issue. That is, every year, 1st of January, we make so many schedules. So what we do is we put January 1st and then drag it down up to 31st December. And then take the calendar and remove the Saturday, Sundays. But people sometimes, you know, accidentally we make mistakes. Then only I realized the importance of this. What she asked me was, is there a short way of doing it? I said, yes. Fill weekdays. What happens? Saturday, Sundays are gone. January 2nd and 3rd is not there. Can you see? 9th, 10th is not there. That is Saturday, Sunday. Fill weekdays. Right? So let me drag it again. Then fill months. The month will keep on changing. At the end of December, the year will change. The date is fixed. Sometimes you need to know, get these things. 3rd of every month you want to repeat. So, but when you copy it, it changes. But then you can say fill months and then say fill years. Only the year will change, the month and the date is. Okay. There's another one called flash fill. If you want, I'll explain what that is. If you don't know, I will. That is also very useful. Flash fill, right? Okay. Then, so fill weekdays is very, very important. Fill weekdays. Now let's see. Look at the formatting of these dates. I right click the whole column and say format cells. Comes with the number. I go here, put. Remember, the date can be formatted in any way you want. You can put the YY in front, right? Dash. Then MMM. DD. Then within brackets, if I put DD, D again, 3 Ds or 4 Ds, it will give you the date, whether it's Saturday or Sunday or Friday. There you go. Can you see that? So this is very useful to have the day of the week. To have the day of the week is very useful in a schedule. Otherwise, we don't know whether it's Saturday or Sunday. The same thing, go to format cells. The way these dates work is very funny. Yeah. I can put DD dash MMM. I would suggest this one, MMMYY, and then space DDD. Can you see the sample here? 1st January 21, Friday. It takes a active cell and show the sample. If you put again, if you put MMMM or M, yeah, again it will come. 5M will give only the first letter of the month, right? 4M will give the whole thing. Then DDD will give Friday. If you put, can you see that is repeated? So there's no end. Formatting is very funny the way it works, especially date format. If you put another day, it will say Friday, the whole name. If you put YY again, YYYY, and within double quotes you put some garbage in there, that will also come. Now see, look at this. These are my dates. Confusing. Can you do calculations with the days? Yes. Why? The real value is this one, not what you see. Don't believe in what you see in Excel. That matters to real life also. Don't believe in what you see. But in Excel especially, if you want to see the real value, you have to always refer this, the formula bar. See, what I'm seeing is something like this, but actual value is a date. Now look at this. Sometimes people, for security purposes, they do things like this. I have a value 100 here, and then in a formula I'll say equal this cell into 5. Right. So the moment you click this, you know what is inside this D3. So D3 value you know. But for D3, what do? Put a format, right? Go to custom. Within double quotes, you put ABC company or something like that. Within double quotes. Then what is shown here is ABC company. This is how people get confused. Right? Now you protect so that you can't select this. Make a select karo to metana pay 100 kila. When you select only, you can see the 100 here. But if you can't select, then you don't know what is inside. So here you have a formula saying D3 into 5. So obviously I will look for what is D3. But D3 is ABC company. So how can this formula work? Why? The actual value is 100 here. But what you are seeing is nothing. No trace of 100. Right? Don't confuse. But if you get confused, you should know how to get over it. That's all. Don't confuse. Anyway. So date formatting. So many things are there. Date calculations. Today and now I told you. If I say day of the date, A2. What is A2? 31st, you get 31. The date, month and year part of the date can be taken separately by using these 3 functions. Day, month, year. Right? Day, month, year. Month ki wo 12 hai. Why? This is 31st December. You get December number. That's it. Date diff, I told you how it works. Date 1, date 2 and format. Right? E-date. If you have time, I'll show that. Because we have to do VLOOKUPs. Network days, weekday. There's a very useful function called weeknum. Workday international. Charts. No, let's move on to VLOOKUP. Name cells I did, data validation, subtotal, conditional formatting, another interesting thing, protection, this has everything. But you understand, no, that you can't do everything. Right. We look up. Okay. If you want a 5-minute break, I can give you. Just relax yourself. Right. Stretch yourself a bit and then come back to do VLOOKUP. Don't go out. Any questions we can discuss? Yeah. On what you learn? Anything that?
Asoka,
Yeah, tell me.
how do you rate yourself with regard to knowledge about Excel?
Well, I'll tell you a nice story. This actually happened. When I joined Brandix, I was still doing Excel training, right? When I joined Brandix in 2006, January 15th, I joined. In March, I mean, that time the 2007 version came. We got a version early. So the whole of Brandix executives has to be trained on 2007. 3 to 7 was a big leap. So I was also told to do half and the other half was done by Microsoft. So both we got a lot of training, so we can put about 30 for a group. So I had to go to Ekal and do it for 1.5 months at a stretch. We were doing morning session, evening session, half day sessions for each batch. Then before that, I was told these are the things that you have to teach them. There was a thing called pivot tables. Which I didn't know. So then I went, bought a book from Sarasavi bookshop, which cost me about 2000 odd. And then I was going through the book to see whether pivot, before I bought it, I went and checked whether pivot tables was there. It was there. So I was so happy. It had a disc also, CD. So I put the CD, then the pivot table exercises there. I still have that book. So I was going through it. Suddenly the pivot table vanished. Not the vanished. If you know pivot tables, in the side you get the data, the headings vanished. So the book didn't say how to get it back. And I was lost. Right? So when I do pivot table, I show that. It can happen to anybody. If it happens, you don't know whether you're standing or sitting. Right? Yeah, there's a question, can you share the slides or notes? Yes, no problem, I'll do it, right? Remind me. I'll share this presentation also. In PDF format, I'll share it. So then, now I was clueless because I have to teach pivot tables. So I didn't know. I asked a couple of friends, they also didn't know. For my luck, I met Mr. Ashraf at Brandix College. He came for some meeting and he met me on the corridor and said, Asoka, you know, this is a guy coming from India, Dr. Nitin. He's MVP. Dr. Nitin Paranyape or some, it's very difficult to pronounce his name. You can go to internet and search for him. He's MVP, Microsoft Most Valued Professional. At that time, this was in 2006, there were only 6 or 7 people in the whole world for Excel. Now there are hundreds of people. Even Sri Lankans has, I think, 1 or 2. So for Excel, right? For different areas, they have MVPs. We are given a slot. As Brandix is a gold customer, we are given 1 slot. But I know you know your Excel, but if you want, we can send you. So I am a person who will learn Excel from anybody, not only Excel, anything. Even a Montessori child, I don't have ego, right? You have to, if you want to be a good learner, you have to first remove the ego. So I don't have any ego. I will learn anything from anybody. So I said, please send me. We are now in my mind, back of the mind, I was thinking of getting this pivot table issue. So then I went for the training. Do you know that it was a 5-day training from morning 9 to 5, advanced Excel, train the trainer. That was the topic of the name. I got the certificate also from this guy. So then while he was doing that, he was doing pivot tables. So I was also doing that. Suddenly it happened. That same thing happened to me. But you know, he was of my age. All the others were youngsters. There are only 7 in the whole group, all trainers. I was a bit shy to ask that question. So, because now some of the people, they knew me, and training manager from Brandix should know Excel, no? So so I was shy. I was looking around. The next guy to me, Macwood's training manager, I remember his name, Arun or somebody. Yeah. He said, Asoka, can you mind the list is missing? I said, even mine the list is missing. Then he called sir. So I'll tell you at the time of doing pivot tables why it happened. So then anyway, to cut it short, the last day we were having lunch together with Dr. Nitin. I asked Dr. Nitin how much of the question that you asked, like how much of Excel, not that he knows, have we covered in 5 days? Have we covered in 5 days? He said, about 25%. I said, my God, that's great. You know, 25% of Excel means you're through. Then he put a tap on me and said, Asoka, I didn't want to disappoint you. Maybe it's about 3 to 5%. So now you know how much I know in Excel. I don't know. It's very much less. There are so many things to learn in Excel. But what in day-to-day life, what we need, if you learn, that's enough. Otherwise, you become mad. Like, I mean, yeah, you will look at this. Go to formulas. Click on formulas. These are AutoSum functions. These are financial functions. Right? See the amount of financial functions. I don't know half of this. Not even quarter of this. Logical. Text functions. The functions that can be applied only to text, not to numbers. See? Date and time. The date diff is not here. That's why I taught it. Lookup and reference. See the amount of functions. So
the reason I asked is because not to keep you murungatte tiyanna neme.
Yeah.
But I mean, the things you covered.
Yeah.
Safe to say you are the most knowledgeable person I have met so far in my life. No. I mean, I'm telling you this, but mama hitagina, mama Excel danna kila. But every time I meet somebody else, I learn something.
Same here also.
ඒ කියන්නේ සමහරට මං දන්න එකෙන් කාලක්වත් දන්නේ නැති කෙනෙක් හම්බුනත් මං අලුත් දෙයක් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. What I realize is Excel is like a kapruka. There's no end to it.
You are very true, very true. Even I'm like that. When I sometimes students, I learned this from a student to insert 5 rows that you can select 5 rows and put one insert. When I was inserting 5 rows, one of the students in our diploma batch at Brandix College said, "Sir, you can select all 5 and then do it." And I said, wait. Then I tried it. Yeah, my God, it works. Because, right? So we learn. I know my Excel, but I mean, I'm still learning, I'll tell you. Right?
Yeah, I mean, what I realize is in Excel, the biggest thing you need to know is you don't know anything about Excel.
Not only in Excel, in whole life.
Yeah, true. I may have bored the others. Hope they don't mind.
Yeah, very true.
Thank you.
Okay. So I know only a little of Excel, but with that little I can do a lot of things. I have done a lot of things. I have done with Fiverr. I have sold 18 systems, inventory systems, purely on Excel. Right? The first one I sold it for an American company, a pet. I can't remember the name of that company. So but I really struggled to do it. Inventory system where it will hit the reorder level, it will color the item and show you, and all that in 3 sheets. And then anyway, I'm getting only $4 for doing it because it's a Fiverr. Fiverr means $5. Out of that, I get $4. The company gives $1, but I would have spent, I think, about 10-15 hours. My wife used to shout at me, "If you want, I'll give that $4. What are you doing in the night?" I said, no, you have to do it. I mean, you have to make sure, you have to, the tough gets going when the going gets tough. That is what I believe. So once I did it, he put a comment on Fiverr. I still have that comment. If you go to Fiverr, you could put my name. That comment should be there. This guy will do anything in Excel. And that gave me about another 20 odd jobs because that comment. And they made me they put me to grade 1 also, so that I can charge any amount. But then after that I stopped it because this work, middle of the night, you can't be doing all that, no. But from that I learned a lot. So
interesting. Thank you.
Right? So okay, let's come back. VLOOKUP. Now there are 2 lookups what we have been working with. The new version has a XLOOKUP which will eliminate both these lookups. But since the new version is not used by everyone, I will definitely do the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. HLOOKUP means horizontal lookup. Right? Okay. A VLOOKUP function needs 4 inputs to work. One is a lookup value. Now, first of all, let's understand why we need to use the VLOOKUP in the first place. To look up a table and bring something in that table to another place from that table. For example, let's say you have 2 sheets. In one sheet, you have the employee number only. In another sheet, you have the employee numbers, all the details, name, department, salary, all the details. But here I have a few employee numbers for whom I need to get those salaries and details from the other sheet onto this sheet. Now, first thing I have to see is whether there's a common field in both these things. Otherwise, you can't do it. No, there has to be a common field in both these places, in both tables or whatever. So obviously, if it's employee file, the employee number is a common field. Right? And that common field is unique in the table that you are referring. One is a reference table, no? Where you are picking the values. In that, it has to be unique. You should not have duplicates. Can you have duplicates? Yes. If you have duplicates, what happens? It will pick the first one and give you the answer. It won't go to the next one. So employee number anyway cannot be duplicated. Now, sometimes you come to a situation where if you take the invoice and the invoice item, if you take the invoice number is duplicated in the invoice item, right? Then how to get a VLOOKUP? Then you have to merge 2 fields and find another field. So what we do in the invoice case, invoice number and item number, when you merge both, that is unique. So that way we can do it. So like that, there are techniques. We don't need to go that far, but it has to have a unique field in the reference table where you're looking. The table array, this part here. Right. Okay. Column index number is a column that we are calling from that table, that you want to get to this table. Don't worry, I'll explain with some data here, then you'll understand better. Now, the column index number, as the name implies, is a number. We don't call it by the column name, like department or name. Or you don't call it by the column, the name of the column, like ABC even. You have to call it by a number. And remember, that number is always the lookup value in that table will be number 1. All the others on the right side will be number 2, 3, like that, sequentially numbered. Then you have to specify whether you are looking for a range lookup or an exact match. Don't worry. I know you, if you didn't know VLOOKUP at all, I don't think even 5% you would have understood from this. That also I know. So don't worry about that, right? Let me take you step by step. VLOOKUP allows you to search the first column of a range of cells set. Now look at this. Imagine this is in another workbook. You can go to that extreme if you want. It could be in a different workbook even. And this is in another workbook. The moment I put the employee number here, I want these two to be filled. Now this is a very common thing that you need in Excel, right? VLOOKUP is very, very useful. So then, what is the lookup value? Employee number. What I do is I take the employee number and go through this workbook. The moment let's say I put number 3 here, then this VLOOKUP for this one will go through, take this number, go through. The moment I get number 3, to get the department, he'll refer to this one. Now, how do you call the department? By an index number. What is the index number of this? 2. Why? This is the link. The column index numbers are numbered like this. You don't have to number them, but it picks like that. If you want the salary, you have to call for number 5. So when you number, remember always employee number or the link, the lookup field is number 1. And the other thing, if you have another one on this side, on the left side of employee number, you can't get that with the VLOOKUP. It has to be on the right side of the lookup value. That is another rule that you have to make sure, right? Okay. Now let's move on. The syntax is this. Lookup value, that is the common field for both. The table array, where you are looking for. The column index number, which one do you want? Which column do you want in that table? And whether it's an exact match that you want or a range lookup. Forget about this one for the time being. always be the first column of the table array. As I told you, it should be number 1. For range lookup option, the table has to be sorted. Forget about range lookup. Table array could be on a different sheet or different workbook. Can you open, let's HLOOKUP, yeah. 9A1, module 9A1. I hope it's 9A1 in this house. So let's see. This is very interesting. Nine A1, yeah. We look up data, employee data. Now, the people who are working with VLOOKUP, initially, I'm sure you would have come across a lot of not applicable errors, even though the data is there, it comes and says not applicable. It's a common thing which happens to a lot of people, even to me. So I will explain why it happens. The syntax is this: fill the department, basic salary and designation of all employees by referring master data sheet. What is the master data sheet? That is this one. This is a master data sheet. This is the view. Right. So to get the department, right? Okay, I'll widen it so that you can see. To get the department, I'm going to put a VLOOKUP. Now there's an issue. Let's see what. Equal VLOOKUP. It's asking for the lookup value. Now when you say lookup value, the lookup value of this one. No? I need the department for this employee number. So I put this as a lookup value. Right. That is clear now. The moment you put the comma, it asks for the table array. Can you see it's getting bold? The table is on the other sheet. So I go to the other sheet. Remember, go to the other sheet. I select the table. Now when I select the table, remember always the table has to be selected from the link, the lookup field onwards. Select because why? This is number 1. So can I get the department? No, I can't call the department. Why? It's on the left side of this. You can have it here, no problem. You can have any number of fields on the left side, but you can't call them because your selection has to start from the lookup field. You can't start a selection from here. You have to start a selection from the lookup field and then select. So therefore, cancel this. First thing you should do is make sure that the department on this one is on the right side of the employee number. You can select this. Maybe you can drag it up to here. Or cut and paste, whatever you want. Whatever you want, somehow you get it here. Now you can get the department. Right? Now we are worried about the column index numbers. What is the column index number for department? Let's see. So this is considered as 1 always. Then this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I want is department, salary and designation. So let's remember the numbers 9, 5 and 8. 9, 5 and 8 are the numbers that I need. Right. So that is one mistake people do. They select the data from another field. No, you have to start selecting from the lookup field. And you try to get the fields on this side, you can't get because this is numbered as 1, 2 this way. There are no minuses in this. Right. The second one, the most common mistake is this. Now let's see. I'm going to get the department equal. VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this. Comma. Table array. You go to the master data. You select the table. You can select from here or here. No problem. You can either select from the heading or this one. Right. So I select the table. Now this is also another mistake I'm going to show you. Comma. What does it ask now? Column index number. Don't go to the other sheet. Some people they try to click and go. No. Don't even touch the mouse. Column index number I need is 9. Number 9. Comma. What type of match do you want? Approximate or exact? I need an exact match. So double click on this. The other mistake is people try to go with the mouse to the other sheet. No, don't go. Close the bracket and press enter. Close the bracket and press enter. It will automatically go. Finance. Fine. We got the answer, but it's wrong. Huh? Remember. Answer is correct here for this one. See whether it's 1015 is finance in this one.
Oh.
1015 finance. Okay, no? Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Answer is correct, but there's some error in this. I'll tell you. Now what do you do? As usual, we double click on this field and lock, copy it down. Now this will come if this is not in the data. In your table, if this field is not there, it will come with not applicable. Right? This will come. So what is this? Let me color it. 1009. Let's see whether 1009 is there. It's there at the top itself. But it's not giving it here. There may be so many reasons for this. Right? One thing is, sometimes you may have entered in this one, you may have a before 1009 with a space or something. If it's a text field, a leading space or a trailing space, then since it's not exactly matching, it won't pick it. But it's a number, no, it has to pick. But still it doesn't say, it says error. So let's take this formula from here. I'll copy it from here. Control C. You know, when you come across the issue, always handle it step by step, slowly. First thing, copy it, escape key, go to master data where the data is and see what is wrong with this formula. Let me copy paste it, but when you paste, remember to put a apostrophe, otherwise it will try to calculate that and give some value. Apostrophe and then paste it. So this is my formula. Sorry, I'll make it a bit bigger for you to see it clearly. We look up A12. A12 is on this one. A12 is correct. 1009. Done. Master data is this sheet. Checking from C11 to K29, the range. There the problem. C11 is here. What is K29? K29 is here. This is the range I am checking this. In this range, do you get A009? No. Why? It is out of the range. That is why it's coming with the error. Now, this is the most common mistake I have seen in VLOOKUP. I have done more than 1600 sessions only on Excel. Right? Every 100 I keep a count. So, 1656 or something now. Maybe this one 57. I have to check my thing. The most common error that people ask me when I do VLOOKUP, sir, when there are records, but it says no. Can somebody tell me, with the knowledge we have, why it happened?
You have to dollar lock it.
Exactly. Spot on. You have to lock it with the dollar. Why? When you copy down, everything moves down. So the range also has moved down, and the earlier one was within the range, it came, but this is out of the range. Right? So therefore, the error is this. You have to put a dollar sign before here and before here. $22 and C$4 to $22. Or press F4 and highlight. Now you copy it down. You get everything. Now let's go and see this one's formula. Control C, escape. Let me copy it there itself. See the difference? Earlier it was checking from C11 to K29. Now it's C4 to K22, the same range. What is C4? Why did I put C4? Yeah, C4. Yeah, C4 to K29. The range is the same now. So therefore, everything is included all the time. Very common mistake. To overcome this, one thing, make sure if ever you are dragging down your result, you have to put the dollar sign somewhere, right? You have to find the correct place, so it's easy. Other option is you can simply put it like this also. Sometimes I do that, but for your exam, don't do it, because they are checking for the dollar sign whether you know it. The easy way out is this. When we look up value is this, comma, go to the table. Table you select from here to here, straight away from the column name. So then whatever you include at the bottom even will get this thing. But you can't do it if you have another table with this set of data on top of this. If you have another one with another employee number on top of this table, but you want to refer this table, then it will pick from that table. The first one it hits. So normally you don't put table one under the other, no. You have the table sideways. So these are things that you have to practice in Excel. You always have the table sideways. Don't have one under the other. If you select from here, no dollar sign, nothing. Simply you put 9 and exact match. You get the answer. Right there you are. You got the answer. No problem at all. And now the good thing when you put like that, if you add something at the bottom, right, that will also come. I'll say 9999. I'll put only the department. Let's say finance, like that. And then if you go here and put 9999 only in the form, this has to be copied 9999, right? If I copy this down, that also comes finance. අර කියන්නේ මොකද අපි range එක fix කරලානේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෝට ඒ range එකෙම තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So there are ways of overcoming that by making it a table. That also I will do. Right. So I think we look clear for you. Any question? Yeah.
Yeah, Asoka, just to add, what I do when I do VLOOKUP tables, source table එකේ උඩ column numbers ටික මම නිකන් මේ drag කරනවා 1 2 3 4 ලියද්දි ලේසි.
Good. What he says is this, very good. Thank you for telling that. මෙතන මේක 1 දාලා නේද? මේක 1 දාලා මේක ඇදගෙන යනවා මෙහෙට. So you know what is to pick for department. You know what is pick for basic salary. All that. Right? That's good.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Now in Google Sheets, what you said earlier, මේ මුළු range එකම කියන්නේ අලුතෙන් data enter කරද්දී මේ you said have the capture a wider range, so when you enter new data it will also be covered by VLOOKUP.
Yeah.
Now Google Sheets allows you to අපි range එකක් මේකේ when you normally denotes a range, you say A1 to G5.
Yeah.
You have to write it like that. No, in Google Sheets it allows you to write A1 to G. You don't have to put the row number, so it will dynamically look down. I don't think Excel is yet to start that.
Yeah, the Excel option is for that is you select from the column. Then
Okay.
Then it says A to G.
Okay, that's new to me.
That comes
Great.
under, but actually speaking, but as I told you, then the problem is if you have another table on top of that, there's an issue, no?
Correct.
So the answer for that in Excel is you make it, convert it to format it as a table. Have you done tables here? Format as tables, no?
No, that is.
You select a cell here and say format as table and select any design you want. But since I have put a color, it won't pick this design, but it will convert it to a table, right? If you want to pick the color also, you can do it by going into any color, right click and say apply and clear formatting. So if you want the color, so now whatever the color here, anything will come, right? Now in this one, if you add something here, let me show that. Here, let's say I add another one, 1 1 1 1. Let's say finance. Let's say engineering. I'll put the full name so that it's different from the others. Right? You go to master data. Now, if I put 1 1 1 1 here, press enter, this won't come. Right? You can see the table expanded. Let me remove the color of this also so that it won't come. But at the time of putting this, I'll undo it, right? I'll undo both these things. All these things, I'll start from fresh. Okay, this is where we had the table. Do that also. Let me remove the colors. Making table feature is also a very useful thing. Why did that go off? Let's go white color, right? Okay. Now it's not a table, just the data, right? So I'll start off by making it a table. I start off by formatting it as a table, select a cell, format as table, select any color. Because I have given black color as a background, it won't get this color, but it converts to a table, no problem. Right? Now, the moment I put something here, you can see the whole table. The last point of the table is this, expands. Can you see? So now if you put for this one, I put that, and then this is my VLOOKUP. This also I can make it a table if I want. Let me make it a table here. format as table. Right. Okay. Now, when I put the VLOOKUP, you can see your formula will be slightly different. Equal VLOOKUP, lookup value is this. Can you see? What does it take? At emp number, the heading of the, so that everything is included.
Okay.
Comma, table array. Again, when you select the table array, even if I select from here to here, what does it say? Table 2. It gives only the table name, not the column. So whole table is selected. I think that is what you are referring to. I'm not familiar with Google Sheets actually. That is something I had to learn. Because there was some requirement from some companies. I said I don't know. What I don't know, I always say I don't know. No. So
it is like Excel on steroids in certain aspects.
Right. Good. Right. So now now you give the number 9. Now you say exact match is false, this one, and close. So can you see, I didn't have to drag it, automatically it fills.
Thanks, this is new to me, very, very interesting.
Yeah, and now I put another one here, 9999, and then I put this thing as, let's say sales, right? And then I put another one saying 5555, right? And then you can see it's expanding. It's all getting included now. And let's say engineering, like that. Right. Now it's a matter of going and putting this number here. You'll get you get engineering. There you go. 1111. 1111 is no. I put 9999. You get it, right? So only there is one. If you are interested in tables, remember there is one problem with the tables. If you protect it, the table feature goes off. When you protect, the table feature goes off. Right? We have requested, even I have requested, not only me, I think hundreds of people are requesting Excel to put that. Even I wrote to, there are forums where you can write. So, but they haven't put it yet. Maybe some problem. Some people have scolded them. We know you can do it, but you are not doing it or something like that. I don't know. I'm yet to see the new version. 2021 version or something, but with a macro you can overcome that problem, right? So that's about tables. So VLOOKUP, I'm sure you got an idea. Let's do another one. Before the HLOOKUP, let's do another one. Can you open yeah, now for this one, for the others, what are we going to do? Other two, you can simply
copy.
Yeah, exactly. Copy, select, copy, escape, paste, and change only the column index number. Change only the column index number, right? Okay. Now, let me undo all these things. Come back to initial thing, right? Okay. Sometimes in practice, now here I am taking from here and there, no? Department basic salary designation, no? Let's say, look at this. I want to get, I have the, sorry, what this employee number? City Panaduru. Let's say this is name. This may be useful for you. Surname, name, surname, city. Imagine this is name, surname, and city that you have to get, which are in the same order as that. Right? There's an easy way of doing it without putting in all three. One by one, changing the numbers. You can make that column index number automatic. Now, to get the name, what is the column index number that I have to refer to? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Column index number is 2. For this one is 3. For this one is 4. Right? Let me delete these two. In Excel, there's a function called row and column. If you say column, it will give the column as a number. If I go here and say equal row, open close bracket, it will give the number 6. Why? This is row number 6. If I put equal column and open close bracket, it will give the 1 by A is column 1, right? So if I go here and say equal column, open close bracket, it will give 13. If you count from A, B, C, D as 1, 2, 3, 4, this is number 13. Okay, let me ask you another question. I just put a yorker. Do you know how many rows are there in Excel?
Click on the, can you see on your between A and 1, if you click there, bottom will indicate.
Yeah, very good. Do you know even this one I learned from student? Right?
මම වැරදිලා ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. ඕක හමින්ද වෙන විදියකට කරා මම දවසක් ඔතන නිකන් මේ by accident I click on that, then I realize පල්ලෙහා ඔක්කොම ටික පෙන්නනවා.
If you press control and down arrow, you can see the last row. So there 1,048,576 rows are there, right? Huge. And if I say control and right arrow, you get the last column, XFD. Now we don't know how the number. So what do? You put equal column in this. Then it will give the column as a number. 16,384 columns are there. So altogether, if you want to calculate the number of cells, column into row, that many cells are there in Excel. Can you imagine the size of this? If I remove the 2 decimals, right? Huge, no? This many cells are there in one sheet. That's the last one. And then to get back from anywhere you want, press Control Home. Huh? Control Home will take you to cell A1. Yeah. Now getting back to this one. If you want to get adjoining ones, we can use this column feature in your VLOOKUP. Make a තේරුණත් හොඳයි නැතත් හොඳයි, just to show you, because it's interesting that you all are interested. I'm very happy because most of the classes, no questions, nothing. Very boring. But since you all are interested, you know, sometimes I get to this thing and do maybe certain things which are not necessary, but it's useful anyway. In the VLOOKUP, you can do these things. Lookup value is this. Come on. Table array. I go to master data and select the table array, maybe from here to here. I select it, right? And I put the $sign to fix it, right? Okay. And then for the column index number, I can use a column. Now to get the name, I need 2, no? So, but if I put the column field here, column open close bracket, I'll get 4 by this. There are 2 here. So what do I do here? I'll say column minus 2. Then I make a D again, then column minus 2, comma, exact match. Right. Now when you are dragging it, yeah, we'll do step by step. You get the name as ABBA. Sorry, not minus 2, 1015 kilonen. It should be. අපිට එන්න ඕනේ 2. 1 2. So column මේක දෙන්නේ 4 minus 2 කියන්නේ 2 minus 3 දෙන්න ඕනේ. Yeah, 1 minus 1, sorry. Column is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Make it 2, it's a bit of another issue there. How will that happen? Can you find the answer for that? I put column minus 1. So column number, sorry, column number of this one. Column number of this one, no, C, not D, not that one, right? Column of this one is 3, minus 1 is 2. So here it's referring to the second one of this, which is this one, right? Sorry, not the D. That one only I had to refer, yeah. I also got confused, right? Can you hear me? My power went off. Can you hear me?
We can hear.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on the UPS. You can hear the UPS. Yeah, I hope power will come back. Anyway, right? I had to refer the one which is here, where this cell, no, this column now I'm putting in. The column of this number is 3. C is ABC 3 minus 1 is 2, right? Only thing, when you copy it this way, A5 becomes B5. So then I had to put a dollar sign in front of A, because this has to remain on the same column. Now this is one instance where you can't put dollar for both. When you copy down, this has to change. The row number has to change, but the column has to be fixed. Can you see? So here we are. Now it's a matter of just dragging this way. You get everything. Very easy. And then copy it down. So those things can be applied if you know these functions. Column
Thank you very much. I have been trying to crack that for a long while by giving cell references, because you cannot give a cell reference inside the lookup. No?
Yeah.
So I've been scratching my head how to do that. So that problem is solved. Thank you.
You got it. Yeah. Right. Okay.
So that can't be applied to the department, which was before the earlier the employee number. So
which one? No.
No, we can't.
If you have anything before this one, no way. That cannot be done. Because always, because then it will be minus, no, or 0. No, this is 1 means this is 0. Now for that one only the XLOOKUP has come. Right now, please don't get confused when I do certain things. That's why, so you can just ignore them if you like to learn, because there are people who like to learn. I'll just show you the XLOOKUP. I'm not going to do the XLOOKUP, but the XLOOKUP is very easy. Look at this. The good thing about XLOOKUP is, if you want to get the city, you all will not have XLOOKUP unless you are using Office 365. But if you are interested, you can go to internet and download an add-in called XLOOKUP. Search for XLOOKUP add-in, then you can use it even in 2013, right? But exam, they won't check for XLOOKUP, I don't think. Again, lookup value. Lookup array. Now, here it's referring the lookup array only. Lookup array means this is my array. This is my lookup array. Press function key 4. Right? Then it's asking for the return array. I want to return the department. So I select this. Right? Sorry, I'll put the department on the other side and show you. Otherwise, no point. Anyway, this works with VLOOKUP. No place. For this one, the department can be anywhere. What's happening now? Start. For that XLOOKUP, you don't, that's the advantage in XLOOKUP, and there are other options. If it comes with error, what do you want to show? That is also there. Right. Now here, the original thing, department on the left side, but here we can use it, equal XLOOKUP. Yeah, put the department first. What we wanted is a department. Lookup value is this, as VLOOKUP, same as that. Go to master data. Where do you get the lookup value? We select only that column. And remember, this is very fast also, because we are not selecting the whole range. So the Excel, the number of things that Excel has to refer is less. That is very fast. VLOOKUP is slow down if you have about 600,000-700,000 rows. Comma. Now it's asking for the return array. Now for the return array, you can select this one. Actually, it's very straightforward. Come in. Now it's asking for, master data return array, comma, B5 to B, comma. It's asking for, if not found, what do you want to show? If it is not there, what do you want to show? Message double quote. Please check or something. If you want, you can leave these things. These are all optional. We are within square brackets. Can you see? Meterin kelima close karanna puluwan. Comma. Match mode, exact match. By default is exact. You have to have it exact match, 1-to-1 match. Comma. Search mode, first to last. Normally, we look up searches from first to last, but this gives the option of searching last to first. Man කියවනේ එකක් හම්බෙච්ච ගමන් නවතිනවා කියලා search එක. ඉතින් make importance of pen. Recently I came across something. So this one I'm not going to enter. I don't need it. Anyway, it will search from there. You get the finance, you get for everything. Can you see? XLOOKUP. Very useful. I'll tell you, since we have time now, yeah, 11:56 now. Recently, one of the companies wanted to, then only I knew how important this XLOOKUP is. They had something like this. I have one of those sample files. There was no way you could do it VLOOKUP. You had to use XLOOKUP for that. Open. Because these sample files have been from 2006 onwards. I am building these sample files daily. I keep on changing them. The more experience I get from the questions that you ask me, only I get these things. Time calc, macro recording, data cleaning functions. See that I put it in there. No, it was something like this. I'll explain what was the issue. Issue was they were having employee numbers like this. Say employee number. I'll just put some data and show you. Employee number, name, and qualification. In the HR, you might need to do this sum. You might need this, right? Employee number, I'll say 1 and just drag down up to maybe 5. Names, I'll say Jagat and just put drag down some of the names. Right? I get some names. Qualifications, yeah. What they do is employee number is repeated 1 1 again Jagat, right? Jagat. They have the, let's say, BSc in order. They didn't have it in order. Then I told them you have to put it in order, then only you can do it, MSc. Then Romesh also has his number 3, employee number 3, same employee number repeated. So Romesh has maybe BSc, MSc, and a PhD also. PhD, right? Then number 4, this guy has, let's say Amal has only BSc. Like that, they have the qualifications like that. BCS, no, BSc, right? BSc is the other way, no? BSc, right? Capital S. Science. Now they want to find out from the huge list, right? Huge list. I should have that list also. Huge list. They want to find out the highest qualification of each employee. Highest qualification of each employee. The problem with VLOOKUP, it will give you the lowest one. But with XLOOKUP, you could do it by searching from bottom to top. If you have it in order like this, right? Let's say 1, 2 is not there, no? 1, 3, 4. Equal XLOOKUP. Lookup value is the employee number, right? Lookup array for employee number array is this array. I'm looking up that array. Right? Fix it, comma. Return array is the qualification. Right? Fix it. Match mode, I'm not going to put anything. Let's say, sorry, if not found. If not found, if you're not going to put anything, you put a comma. Remember that. Then only it skips to the other one. Is it an exact match? Yes. So I put exact. You can go to wildcard character match also. Partial matches. If you know why, I don't know whether you all know wildcards. Using the star and the question mark, right? Then you can use that also. This is so powerful. So I put 0. Here I'm going to say last to first. That option. And Can you see? MSc for Jagat. This one PhD, this one BSc. If I did with the VLOOKUP, I'll do it with the VLOOKUP also to show you. VLOOKUP, lookup value is this, comma. Now you have to select the whole table. See the amount of information that Excel has to keep in the memory. And then number 3, no, we need number 3. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Comma, exact match. You get BSc for him. Take the highest qualification, Paune. BSc. We are looking from top to bottom only. There's no option to look from bottom to top. But to do that, you have to make sure your qualifications are in that order. Right? So, do you think VLOOKUP is clear now? See the difference between the XLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP. Is that okay? You want another exercise to be done on VLOOKUP? Okay, can you open this other? Yeah, we have to do the range lookup. I'll show you what that is. Do you know range lookup? Why we use the VLOOKUP for range?
No.
That's very, very important. Can you open? My power is not there. Anytime this might go off. If it goes off, we'll take the interval, right? It's beeping the UPS. I'll let me off the other computer also so that save some power. Right, okay. The lookup, HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP both has another one called range lookup. Exact match and range lookup. Right. Can you open this sample file? VLOOKUP range, module 983. This is something we did earlier. Getting the grade by using the if function, using the nested if. Right. So here let me open the windows and come. It's really hot here. Right. So now to do a VLOOKUP, we have to have a table to look up now. So let's make the table. Let's create the table. When you create the table, it's a range lookup. Why we need the range lookup is when there is no exact match, but we are looking in a range. So range always starts with the lowest value. What is the lowest marks you can get? 40. 0. Sorry, 0. What is the next breakpoint? 40. What is the next breakpoint? 60. What's the next breakpoint? 80. Right? Let me delete karana automatic. Type these things. And then this is how it works. When you are creating the table, you have to be careful of this. From 0 to 40, let me color it. If you have, what should be the result? Fail. So fail should come here. On the lower end of the range. Remember that. The relevant one is on the lower range of the, there are two ranges. This is the lower range, this is the higher range. Whatever which is on the lower range will be the field that will go there. Fail. Right? So from 40 to 60 means pass. 40 to actually 59, na? Pass. This 40 means it will relevant to this one. 0 means relevant to this one. So between this and this, relevant to this. Between this and this, relevant to this. Predict. And then distinction. So I can't color everything. Only thing I color with a different color these two. If it is between that range, it has to be credit. shaded colors. So if it is between, let's say, this range, I'll color it here. Then it is this one. If it is more than this, then it is this one. Abhi ye peten color. I hope I am not confusing you by coloring it. So if it is between this range, you get the answer as this. Right. Now let's put the VLOOKUP. Equal VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this, the marks, that is what I want to take there. Why we use a range lookup is there is nothing called 87 in this. It's between a range. What is the range? Between 80 and above. So it will give distinction. That is why we need the VLOOKUP. I'll tell you where we can use this. Table array is this. I'll select this. Put the $ sign and fix it. Press F4 and fix it. Or select from the comma. Column index number is what? This is 1, this is 2. Always the lookup value is 1. So what I need is 2, comma. Here is a change. You say approximate match. True. So you have to double click, then true will come. Otherwise you can type it also. But why type when you can double click? Distinction 87. Distinction. Lucky the power came. Thank God. Right? So that is why there is nothing called 78 in this table. Otherwise, if you want to do the exact math, then you have to type 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 39 and put fail on the other side. Then 40 onwards, put credit. So you have to have 100 numbers here. But here with 4 numbers, we can do it. Range lookup. Then now here's another issue. Let's say, look at this. Accidentally, somebody has typed 104. They are given description. Maybe this could be 14 or 10. We don't know. Actually, this should come with an error here. Or please check or some message. So the message will come here. Right? Let's say, please check. Look at this carefully and tell me what is the number I should put here. Look at this and tell me carefully. Now, when you have 60, you get credit. So when you have 60, what you get is this one. What is here, right? So what should be the number which should come here to put a error message or the same, please check.
101.
Fantastic, 101, not 100, right? 101. If you put 100, then the guy who gets 100 also will get an error. 101. But the moment I put 101, it won't come. You know the reason for that? The reason is we have put a $ sign and we are checking only up to here. No? Then make a $ sign නැතුව මම column එකේ select කරලා තිබුණා, that problem is solved. You know what I'm saying, no? Because I put the $ sign anyway, it's checking. Yeah, if you go here, it's checking only in this range. This is out of the range. So you can drag the range. පුළුවන්ද? There you are. මෙතනින් අල්ල drag කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක drag උනේ මේකට විතරයි. එහෙම කරන්න එපා. You go to the first one. Right? Go to the first one. Go here. Now drag the range. You can see it changes. And then copy it down. Now copy it down. Excel allows you to drag the range and change your formulas. That's also another thing. Which I learned only last week, to tell you the truth. Right? When I was doing a lecture, I just tried it and it worked. So don't do it for the one which didn't come. Do it for the first one and drag it. Without going and changing it. So that is called, now this is used, very useful for OT calculation. Look at the example here. When you are calculating OT, always relate it to the practical side, then you will know. Relate it to the practical side where you can use it. When calculating OT, we have blocks. The person who comes at 8:30, who goes at 5:30, the time adjusted time is also 5:30. Let's say half an hour blocks. 7:15 is taken as 7. You can't be calculating overtime for every minute, no. Either half an hour or 1 hour. Normally, most of the companies, they go on half an hour block. Some companies go on 1 hour. So the guy working for 59 minutes will not get OT for that 59. But if he works another 1 hour, 1 minute, he'll get for the whole day, right? So here, 6:25 has to be shown as 6. 6:30, 6 a.m. 8:18 has to be shown as 8. 8:43 has to be shown as 8:30. You can do that with this. Look at the table. This is my table. 5 to 5:30 is shown as 5. Can you see? So 7 to 7:30 will be shown as 7. Right? So here we are. Go to the other one. Do the exercise. This is the example. This is the exercise. Equal V lookup. Lookup value is timeout. But you can't get the timeout because it's covering it. So what do you do? Local passe kori kala. Equal V lookup. Right? These are practical things that happens. V lookup. Lookup value is this. Done. Table array is this one. After 12:30, it should come with error. Can you see? I have to fix it. Lookup field, the column